Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Morning Five on Wednesday, September 17th, 2014. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm joined by Alex Gleitman. Alex, I want to start off talking about Ohio State's offensive line situation. Urban Meyer said yesterday on the Big Ten teleconference that his two biggest concerns are pass defense and the offensive line. He indicated changes could be on the way on the O-line in the near future. I'm going to read you what Meyer said verbatim. He said, quote, "The offensive line is getting close. They played well last Saturday, but we have an obligation to get the five best guys in there, and we're still not quite sure which lineup is the best. This week of practice will be important, and we're going to try some things and make some decisions as we go forward." Alex, you don't say something like that if you already think you're playing with your five best linemen. You don't say we have an obligation to get our five best guys out there if you already think you have your five best guys out there. What do you make of this statement from Coach Meyer?
Yeah, I mean, you hit nail on head, Dave. I don't think that they're 100% sure that Jacoby Bourne in the center with Pat Elflein at left guard and Billy Price at right guard with Decker and Baldwin at the two tackle spots is their best lineup. And, you know, you saw them tinker in the Kent State game with some different things, moving Pat Elflein to center and having Billy Price and Joel Hale at guard. Later in the game, they had Billy Price at center. So I still think that they're trying to figure out what is the best five, which five players not only are the best players, but which five players work best together. And, you know, personally, in my opinion, and one more thing to mention, actually, they had Chase Farris rotating in with Darryl Baldwin earlier on at right tackle. So that's another possibility in changing this lineup as well. I personally think you could see that battle between Farris and Baldwin go on a little bit longer. Jamarco Jones got a little bit of burn in the Kent State game. Maybe he gets into the mix at right tackle a little bit as well. But I think the interior of the line is really what they're trying to figure out. Is Jacoby Bourne the best center? Is Billy Price better served at center? Is Pat Elflein better served at center? Should Joel Hale be in the starting lineup? So I think the interior line is what they're going to focus on the next 2 weeks before they play Cincinnati. And hopefully whatever lineup they trot out against the Bearcats is what they feel is their five best at that point moving forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how they line up against Cincinnati, because that should give us an indication that they've made a decision now. This is how they're going to go, you know, for the remaining 9 games of the regular season. And I tend to think, you know, you alluded to this. I think Billy Price's best position is center. Now, you know, he's got that's a demanding position. That's the quarterback of the offensive line. And furthermore, when you're running Ohio State's offense, you're running a hurry-up offense a lot of times. You're in the shotgun 100% of the time. So there's a lot of demands on the center. He's only a redshirt freshman, but man, Billy Price in there at center with Elflein and Hale at guard, I think that might be the best lineup. And then, as you mentioned, I think there's a very good battle between Darryl Baldwin and Chase Farris there at right tackle. And Chase Farris still has another year next year. He's only a fourth-year junior, so that's something to keep an eye on there, that battle at right tackle. So we'll see what the Buckeyes do with the offensive line position. I thought that was a very interesting comment from Urban Meyer yesterday about needing to get the five best guys on the field. So we'll see what they do there. Switching gears completely, the Minnesota Vikings have reversed course on Adrian Peterson, Alex. They have placed him on the exempt list, which means he must stay away from all team-related activities until the legal process plays out. He's being accused of child abuse. This has ignited a national debate on many levels. I want to keep it with, are the Vikings doing the right thing here? I think they absolutely are. In fact, I found it ridiculous, Alex, that they were going to try and only suspend him for one game. The pictures we saw came a week after he used a switch on his son, one of his many sons. It wasn't like it was the next day. Even if it was the next day, it would be bad enough. That was a week after. And I know they're succumbing to public pressure here. They don't want to suspend him. They want to play him. They're just, you know, the sponsors are leaving. Kind of an obvious question. Just want to get your thoughts on it. Do you agree the Vikings are doing the right thing? And just your thoughts on this Adrian Peterson situation.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of water cooler talk the last few days. It's been around this subject, and it's tough. You know, you have a lot of differing opinions in America. You have right-wing people, you have left-wing people, you have people raised in different ways, and you know, it's just a really it's tough. I mean, is this you let the legal process work itself out and see where things go from there? Do you kind of take action as a team? Do you take action as a league? There's just too many questions. There's no policies in place. I think for me, there's people in America who grew up, getting spanked. My father is someone who, my grandpa used a belt on him. That was just kind of like the way things were back then. And Adrian Peterson, raised in Texas down in the South, he's certainly not the only one who was brought up getting hit by a switch when he did some things wrong and misbehaved, and so that's the way he's bringing up his son. So personally, I don't think Adrian Peterson's intent was to physically harm his son. I think he was trying to discipline him, and that was the way he was raised. So that's the way he's raising his son. Now that being said, in today's world in America, I'm not sure that's necessarily the right. You just can't do that. In today's world, you can't do that. Things just aren't the same as they were 20, 30, 50 years ago, and I think Adrian needs, and many other people in America that are doing this. I mean, if you look at those pictures, what happened to his son, those bruises, I mean, that should not happen to a 4-year-old. A little bit, there's different ways to discipline your kids, and I think a message needs to be sent. I think Adrian, I don't think he should go to jail. I don't think he should be cut. I don't think he should be suspended for an indefinite amount of time, such as a Ray Rice situation, as Ray Rice intentionally meant to punch a woman in the face. I mean, I think that Adrian needs to go see some counseling, go take classes, find out, learn about different ways in disciplining your kids outside of hitting them and bruising them, all over their body with a switch. I think that's wrong. So I think the Vikings did the right thing by putting him on the exempt list. I think this needs to blow over. They need to figure out, gather everything and figure out what the next steps are with the league, with the legal process, and then go from there. Again, I think Adrian Peterson, I don't think it would be bad if he came back and played this season, but I think measures need to be taken before he could get back on the field. I don't think they could just trot him back on the field because they suspended him one game.
Yeah, times have changed drastically, as you said. When I was a kid, my dad used a belt on me. My mom used a wooden spoon. Now, never anything to the extent even close to what Adrian Peterson did, but never left marks on me that lasted a while, or never bruised me or anything like that. And I think back to when I was in elementary school, there were paddles, and each teacher had a paddle, and they would paddle bad students. You couldn't find a school in America right now that has paddles in the classroom. Things have changed, and they've changed drastically, and this stuff just can't be tolerated. I want to let the listeners know it's going to be on the site today. Bill Kurelic has his In the Dean's Office thread posted on the front row message board right now, where subscribers can ask him any question about recruiting or the current team. We're also going to have the boarding house posted around noon. That is also for subscribers only, so if you're not a subscriber, try our 30-day free trial. Tonight, we will interview Urban Meyer and a handful of players around 6:30. We'll have stories, videos, and bolts on the site for you this evening, so make sure you look for that. Thanks to Alex Gleitman. Thanks to all the listeners out there. Take it away, best damn band in the land.